In the year 1857, a large-scale mutiny was led by the people of Indian subcontinent against the British East India Company. The mutiny was led by the leaders like Bahadur Shah Jafar, Mangal Pandey and Queen Jhansi and many others. The result of the mutiny was the fall of 100 years rule of British East India Company in the Indian subcontinent. But the British Empire didn't fall in India. After 57 years of the mutiny, the First World War started in the year 1940. They had used the Indian Muslims against the Turkish Ottoman Muslims. But a different thing happened at Singapore in the year 1915.
As a lieutenant, I want to say to you all that you are all the brave soldiers of 5th Light Infantry, which was previously known as 42nd Bengal Native Infantry before the 1857 Mutiny. You are all here to replace the King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry, which had been ordered to France. Do not try to repeat again the 1857 Mutiny. Obey the orders of British Empire.
I hope you understand, brother, about Lieutenant Harold's order not to repeat 1857 mutiny.
Yes, I understood, but they are still repeating their injustice. They are not treating us equally as their British soldiers. In our motherland, we had a constant supply of goat meat and milk. But here we have to take small pieces of chicken and very little milk.
To make up for the insufficient amount of food we receive, we have to buy our own meat and milk, and the use of dollar versus rupee irked us very much.
Okay, brothers, we shall deal with these things later on. It is time for namaz.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Lieutenant Harold, how is the mental condition of 5th Light Infantry? Are you getting any smell of Bahadur Shah Jafar and Mangal Pandey in them?
Not at all, Colonel. Those mentalities of mutiny and independence are not present in them.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yes, that's wonderful, but not so, Colonel. These people of India are like sudden rain. If you carefully look back to 1857 Mutiny, you will notice that it was just like surprise attack.
Yes, I also agree with Major Watson, Colonel. It is very difficult to believe these Indian dogs.
Now, what is the solution of this problem?
The solution is to take our weapons away from them and transfer them back to India.
This is not the right solution, sir. We are not treating the Indian soldiers equally to our soldiers, but still, they are working hard day and night for us.
Calm down, Lieutenant. Know your place. You don't have as much experience as we have with these unfaithful Indian dogs. I do agree with the transfer of Indian soldiers, but not to India. Hong Kong is the best place for them. I will soon announce the transfer, but the place of the transfer must be kept secret.
Yes, come in.
Assalamu alaikum, Pasha.
Wa alaikum assalam, Commander.
I hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah.
Alhamdulillah, I am fine, but the condition of the world is not well. The British Empire started this war in order to occupy countries after countries illegally and to implement their oppressive rules.
There is also another problem, Pasha. The British Empire is using our Indian brothers against us, displaying us as the soldiers of Germany in front of them.
We must stop this evil act of the British Empire. Send the message of unity to our Indian brothers. Through Jahani Islam, this is the time that the Gadar should be introduced in India. Hindus and Muslims, you are both soldiers of the army and you are brothers, and the low-degraded Englishman is your enemy? You should become Ghazis by declaring jihad and combining with your brothers to murder the English and liberate India.
I don't like this, Colonel Edward Martin. This announcement of the transfer will make the Indians upset. Those dogs will not tolerate this indiscrimination for long.
This loner colonel doesn't want to listen to us. Due to his appointment, there is disunity among the British officers. Service under him is like sheep without a shepherd.
But, sir, you also have to remain careful about Malay state guides.
And you remain careful about Ottoman spy and German internee so that they might not expose the truth to Indian Muslim soldiers that we are using them against their religious brothers. I have confidence in my Malay dogs. They are friendly to me and more obedient than Indians. The Lions of Malay State Guides, you must not forget that you were formed by Lieutenant Colonel Walker for the purpose of protecting the Straits settlements of Singapore. Those who return back to Taiping, let them go to hell. Now it is your great chance to prove yourself as the best artillery of the British colony.
Look, brothers, how we are looking handsome in this photo with Captain McLean. This photo will remain as a great memory for centuries.
Yes, the incident of Komagata Maru will also remain a great memory for centuries.
So far, I know about that incident that, due to that incident, most of our brothers didn't join us here. But I still don't know what happened at that ship.
Let me tell you the story. In the early of 1914, an elderly man named Baba Gurdit Singh chartered that Japanese ship to carry 376 Indian passengers, of whom 340 were Sikhs and 24 were Muslims, from Hong Kong to Vancouver, with the purpose of deliberately challenging Canadian laws restricting Indian immigration. However, once the ship arrived in the port of Vancouver, it was not allowed to dock, nor were its passengers allowed to disembark. The passengers were forced to wait on board the ship. The passengers were forced to wait on board the ship for 2 months in difficult conditions, while their fate was decided, only to discover at the end that the entire ship had been ordered back to India. The ship left Vancouver under escort by the Canadian military on 23 July 1914. When it finally reached Kolkata on 26 September, the outraged and weary passengers quarreled with British authorities, who were intent on treating them as prisoners. The altercation resulted in gunfire by the authorities, during which 19 of the Indians on board were killed.
Indeed, we belong to Almighty Allah, and indeed, to Him we return.
Indeed, we belong to Almighty Allah, and indeed to Him we return. Brother, we must hurry. Otherwise, we shall be late for namaz.
The Ingress into India Ordinance 1914 is a disgusting law passed by the British government. Who are they to screen, detain, and restrict the movement of our people returning to their motherland?
Their main intention is to destroy the aim of our Gadar party, which is the liberation of India. Yes, come in.
Sat Shri Akal Ji, President.
Sat Shri Akal, Dr. Mathra Singh.
I hope you are fine by the grace of Waheguru Ji.
By the grace of Waheguru Ji, I am fine. But the condition of our country is not well. We are discussing here about the annoying law made by the British, the result of which is the incident of Komagata Maru. We will soon take revenge for that incident.
Why are most of our brothers absent?
It is due to the conspiracy of British intelligence. It is true that our martyred brother Miwa Singh has finished the game of W.C. Hopkinson, but the game of British intelligence is still going.
There is also another problem. Our Muslim brothers, working as soldiers under the British Army due to the false promise of independence made to them, are facing indiscrimination at Singapore.
And for that, we will be sending our brother, Dr. Mathra Singh, to Singapore, where he will meet our brother, Qasim Mansur, owner of a Kopatiam.
And this is the photo of Qasim Mansur.
Send this message. Hindus, Sikhs, Pathans, and Muslims, pay attention, y'all. People in the army. Our country has been plundered by the British. We have to wage a war against them. We do not want to get our ship sunk. It is time to take up the sword. But before that, you have to meet our friend, Commander Ali at Istanbul.
And this is the photo of Commander Ali.
Like Alan Octavian Hume, many British politicians support the idea of self-government by Indians.
I know, Mr. Robert. All British are not equal.
We Americans are also in favor of Indian independence, like Samuel Evan Stokes Jr. I hope you will give us a chance to prove that, Mr. Taraknath Das.
Yes, just take our brother, Dr. Mathra Singh, to Istanbul and then to Singapore in a safe and secure way.
Okay, gentlemen. But for that, you have to keep patience for tomorrow night.
Sorry, sir, I am hired.
This man looks familiar to me, but I cannot figure out where I have seen him.
Come on, Mr. Taraknath.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Can I do you some favor?
But it seems that you are hired.
No, sir, I am not.
Listen, don't try to fool me. I had clearly listened from a distance to what you said to those three men.
Actually, sir, I didn't want to carry them because among them there was a man who belonged to a terrorist group who claimed them as the hope for Indian independence.
Oh, I see. So you knew that Gadarites, Taraknath.
And it also seems that you also know him.
Yes, I do. But what is your relationship with them?
We are rivals of each other, sir, in India. We, as Indians, want British colonial rule to be permanent in India because we see the future in colonial rule. But the main barrier for us and the colonial rule is those Gadarites.
Now tell me, do you have any new information about those terrorists?
As per my knowledge, they will take their member, Dr. Mathra Singh, out of America, but I don't know when and where.
Leave that to us. Now tell me, have you ever seen the face of Dr. Mathra?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then do us a favor.